Hey guys, welcome back. Joe again here from Third World Aquatics. Another video, but this one's a little bit nerve-wracking. So here's the 720. Well, it used to be 720 gallons when it was way up here. So I'd say probably about a year ago, we had to lower the elevation down from, you can see here in the center island overflow, if I get close, you can see the original weir. Okay, right there. You can see where the water used to enter right here. We dropped it down, I think it was 8 inches. And I had to drill all these holes in here. And we did that because of the corner. Now, I'd say about a month and a half ago, we dropped it down again to now, the arowana gets out of the way, you can see the holes right there. So we went from the 720 to a 620, and now I think we're sitting somewhere around a 540 right now. And the reason why we're doing that is because of this right here. As time goes by, you can see right here that the acrylic is trying to pull away. And right now we are probably at 50%. So that's kind of nerve-wracking because you just don't know how much time we got left before we've got 540 gallons of water sitting on the floor. So I continue my surgery here. So what I've done is I took weld-on 3, and there's the syringe. Here's the weld-on 3, and I took the needle and I injected it between the two panels, and you could see that it was weeping inside here. And what I would do is I would take the weld-on 16, which is right here, and I would build up maybe 3-4 inches so that it was encapsulated on the end, and then I would take the 3 and try to fill the void, but yet the 16 would cap it in so it couldn't like roll right out the bottom. So I did that progressively each night, just trying to work my way up. But I know that's not enough. So what we've come up with is I've got this piece of acrylic here, and I think this is probably about 6-7 inches wide. We're going to rip this down tomorrow night. I'm going to rip this in half. As much as this is going to suck, I mean, granted, the 720's done. There's no fixing this thing. If I catch it on the right angle, you can see the fatiguing within the panel. Let me try to catch the right angle here, right there, dead center of the screen. You see how you got all these crazy lines minus the Paku. So even if all the four corners were absolutely perfect, the deflection that has transpired over the years, because the tank is actually bowing out. In fact, let me put the camera down for a second. I'm going to grab a 4-foot level. All right, I put the 4-foot level on the tank. Now, this is going to be kind of tricky here. So the level is level. But if you look up here, there's about a 1/2 inch distance from the front of the acrylic to the level, and the same on the bottom. I'm trying to move that tape. So this is right now, which the deflection has actually come in a little bit. When this tank was completely filled to the top, our deflection on center line was about 1.5 inches right here coming out. From here to here, it came out 1.5 inches. So the thing that we noticed last time was when I dropped the elevation from here to here, when this went inward, this relaxed, but in reality, it opened up more. I mean, I came down here the next day after we dropped the water elevation down, and from what I had the night before to what I had seen the very next morning, I mean, I got sick to my stomach because I'm like, holy crap, this has actually gotten worse. And that's because the panel relaxed, it went inward, and it opened us up more. So, all that being said, we're going to rip this panel tomorrow night after work, and I am going to just put this up here for example. I have no choice but to weld on this panel, and by doing that, I'm going to capture this surface, which is 7/8. This tank is not even a 1 inch, 7/8 thick. So by capturing this surface, and this surface, I would think that that would make it so that this can no longer move on us. So that's tomorrow night's job. Hopefully we can make it 24 more hours. But unfortunately, that's the only thing I can think of. The only other thing would be to completely remove the fish, drain the water, full, complete gut it, and then weld on bars in all four corners, probably 1.5 by 1.5 inches. But the problem with that is, even if I did that, there's that fatiguing that's on this front panel is so severe, it's not even worth it. Literally, this tank is garbage. And all I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to bide time. All right, guys, we have cut the acrylic. I think we're about 3¼ inches. Jack has got it attached right here to the side of the aquarium. And we put on some painter's tape right here so that when we do glue this, if anything slips out, we're kind of protecting the side of the tank. And we also put some on the front. We also, go ahead and take that down, put it on the cardboard. We put tape around the complete perimeter of the piece of acrylic. Same thing, once we go to put the weld on 16 on this face, I guess what I was thinking was to get away from a lot of the air bubbles was to drag this down to make it smooth. And obviously we know that we're probably going to get some excess that's going to be wanting to come over the side. So we're trying to somewhat protect both sides of the acrylic. So the goal is Jack's going to grab one tube, I'm going to grab the other one. We're going to work our way all the way down. And then we do have about 5 minutes of working time. We're going to put this on here just like this. Try to make it flush on the front face. You have that? Yep. And then put a little bit of pressure on it, not get too crazy. And then hope that the air bubbles somewhat work their way out. And then it doesn't look too terribly bad. Go ahead and slide over to the right a little bit. So that's the goal. So I guess we'll go ahead and put on the weld on 16 and see how this whole thing turns out. Too bad this tank, we couldn't fill this right to the top again. All right, guys, it's the next night. We have continued working on this repairing of the 720, and things have gotten a little unique, and we've had to come up with a contraption because I got a little nervous about how we were going to attach this piece of acrylic, which is sitting here on the cardboard standing by. So in thinking about this, I thought, well, if we put the weld on here and we go to try to attach it here, there was really no means of kind of pushing hard and kind of locking things in and being able to walk away for the night. So we kind of came up with a kind of a goofy plan here. Actually, Jack came up with this here. Let me go up the top of the ladder here. This might be loud here, so stand by. I've got the lid to the 720 open. But we went ahead and put some clamps up here. You can see I'm grabbing this 2x4 right here. And it's actually grabbing inside the lid, way up underneath here, which is 1 inch. Let me back up here a little bit. So the top of the tank originally was 1 inch thick. We had 1.5 inches welded to it, so now we're 2.5. You can see that this is kind of routed. What did you just do?
Drop the wrench.
All right. As long as the tank's not going to break like right now in front of me while I'm on the ladder, because that would suck. So this is a router right here, so it's really hard to see that full 1.5 inches. But we're 2.5 on the top of this thing. So the clamps are up underneath, grabbing that 1 inch. So that's nice and secure. And then obviously the other side's grabbing that 2x4. So with that, we also put on 2 more 2x4s to kind of walk this all the way out to grab this 2x8. And we did this, let me just keep going here. We put a 2x6 down here, and now we're completely level. And we did this because we wanted a kind of a back plate, kind of something we could grab. And now within the last hour, we've kind of tweaked this a little bit more, because what I was going to do was I was going to put 2x4s here. So the acrylic was going to go here, this was going to go here, and then I was going to put some shim stock between the board and the board. And the more I thought about that, I'm like, that's no good. So now we've come up with this. Actually, just drop the washer here. What's going to happen is we're going to get something like this. So now I've got 4 adjustable jacks. You can see we drilled the 2x8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got the 4 boards standing by. I think what's going to happen here real soon, go ahead and grab that acrylic and just lay that in there. So once we put the glue on this, we can open this up, and this board will push right against the acrylic 4 times over, and I think that's going to be pretty slick. Now we've got full control. We've got a board here that's not going to move at all, and I can just take the wrenches, tighten that up, and away we go. So I think we're set. I think that's all we're going to do for tonight, but that should work out real nice. All right, well, we decided to go for it, and it's looking pretty good. There's the 4 clamps. I know we're going to get some air bubbles. I mean, I wasn't expecting us to be 100%. I really won't be able to tell till probably tomorrow night when we go ahead and tear this all apart. Kind of a goofy contraption, but we really had to do this. And this tank is in critical condition, so I think by us putting on this 3.5 inch wide piece of acrylic is really going to give us some extra integrity, what we need. Now I think what's going to happen is we're going to still weld on a piece on the top, but we can only go so far. I mean, that acrylic was that was a 3-foot piece. It'd have been nice to have a full 4-footer. But we'll catch this one probably in a couple days. Come up with another contraption. But there it is. She's locked in. We'll take a look here in about 24 hours when we tear all this apart. All right, guys. It's the next night, and we have removed the board, which is sitting here on the ground. I think that actually worked out pretty well. And just looking at this, I felt like, all right, this is pretty good. I think we might have bought ourselves another 6 months to a year, and everything's looking good. So, but then we just noticed something. I don't know what happened during the night, but when we had this board over here, we're only speculating that by putting pressure on this piece of acrylic, that just maybe it did this right here. So that is about 8-9 inches long, and that was not there last night, and now all of a sudden this is here. So we're a little nervous right now. Literally half of the acrylic is now not touching. So now we're kind of stumped because this kind of came out of nowhere. It was not there. So we kind of thought we were in a great position. Now we're right back to we got a problem. So now we're seriously contemplating pulling the trigger on this one, because it's still about 540 gallons of water. I know that piece of acrylic looks pretty ugly. It's kind of hillbilly-ish, but I know it's a Band-Aid, but it was something we had to do. But that other end now, that came out of nowhere, so I'm pretty stumped right now. All right, well, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video. We're trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do here. Till then, cross your fingers. We're out of here.